Pretty much all modern street bikes come with anti-lock brakes, and they have an ABS warning light too. What does it mean when that thing lights up, and how do you fix it? Let's open up the shop manual and find out. This episode of the Shop Manual is brought to you by Kershaw, my go-to unboxing knife and a tool I carry with me everywhere. Get 25% off your order at KershawKnives.com with code NEWKNIFE25. If you're watching this because your ABS symbol briefly illuminates every time you start your motorcycle, don't sweat it. That's perfectly normal. Just like your check engine light, the ABS warning light comes on with the key as part of the system's self-diagnosis. Once the wheels are rolling for a few seconds, it'll turn off. But if it doesn't turn off, then it's trying to alert you to a problem. Here are the most common ones. First, you should check for hardware issues. Anti-lock brakes rely on sensors mounted on the caliper brackets and tone rings bolted to the wheels to monitor and compare front and rear wheel speed. If there's anything wrong with those components, the ABS light will come on. It could be that the single bolt that secures the sensor is loose. The sensor or wiring could also be cracked, torn, or otherwise damaged. Look everything over carefully to make sure that's not the issue. There might also be stuff stuck to the sensor, interrupting or blocking the signal. There's a magnet in there, and I've seen instances where metal shavings or ferrous debris accumulates on the sensor head, causing issues. The tone ring on the wheel could also be the problem if, say, one of the windows is damaged or packed with mud or debris. Another thing I've seen, and embarrassingly I have done this myself, is install the front tire and subsequently the front wheel backwards. Then the tone ring is on the wrong side and the warning light comes on. So, if you've had your front wheel off recently and now you're having an issue with the ABS light, make sure the front wheel is oriented the right way. If everything looks good with the hardware, then you should move on to checking your fuse box. The anti-lock brakes actually have several fuses. There's one for the ABS motor, the ABS solenoid, and other circuits, so check your owner's manual to find out what and where they are, since they might not all be in the same fuse box. Visually inspecting fuses is fine, but a continuity check with a multimeter is a more reliable method, and you don't even have to remove the fuse to do it. Now, sometimes fuses do just go bad, but if you replace a blown fuse and then it pops again, that suggests a bigger electrical issue that you should really look into. Other than issues with the sensor or wiring or tone ring or a blown fuse, there are a few more things that can cause a warning light to come on. If you've recently made a massive tire size change or you're rolling around on seriously underinflated tires, that could alter the wheel's rolling diameter enough to trigger an error. Similarly, if you just set down an especially long wheelie or you had the bike running in gear on a center stand or a rear stand, the ABS ECU might interpret that wheel speed discrepancy as a problem. Cycling the key ought to clear that up. Ultimately, the best way to find the source of the problem is to ask the anti-lock brake system. Like your bike's check engine light, the ABS warning light will blink error codes back at you, Morse code style. Your bike's shop manual will explain how to access the ABS's self-diagnostic feature, which might require plugging in a scanner, but could be as simple as grounding a test electrode. From there, you just count the blinks of the warning light, compare those to the chart in your shop manual, and you've got some solid intel with which to pursue a solution. Whatever the case, if that ABS warning light is illuminated, it's not something you should ignore. Your brakes will still function, but the anti-lock feature might not work. The good news is though, now you know what to check.